Hello and welcome to the show. I'm George Eliason. Now, today is March 15th, and on the 14th, we had a big event. And quite frankly, according to this Hill article, everybody's scrambling and wondering if this is going to lead to further escalation. Now, yesterday, apparently, Russian jet fighters shot down or took down or actually were beside a Raptor that went down over the Black Sea in international waters. Now, according to Anatoly Anatov, the Russian ambassador to the United States, Russia had informed its American counterparts that this space was identified as a zone for the special military operations. Well, what's this mean? Russia isn't going to allow the U.S. to spy for Ukraine in this space. That's what it means. Now, we warned the U.S. not to enter or penetrate this space, he said, and he asked how the U.S. would react if a Russian drone came this close to New York or San Francisco. Now, the drone also flew with its transponders off, violating the boundaries of the temporary airspace regime established for this operation, which was communicated to all users of this international airspace and published in accordance with international standards and laws. Well, that's reasonable. Now let's listen to this report by Sean Hannity on it.
We begin with this Fox News alert tonight. Reckless aggression in the skies. A U.S. Reaper drone operating over international waters above the Black Sea, downed by a Russian fighter jet, two of them. You had two Su-27 aircraft. They flew dangerously close to our unmanned drone. Now, Putin's thugs then dumped fuel on our drone several times before then finally ramming its propeller and then sending our $14 million aircraft into the sea below. Now, some reports claim that the collision was not intentional and that the Russian pilots, they were just provocative and incompetent amateurs. Make no mistake, this was no accident. And I can guarantee you that Vladimir Putin personally signed off on this military aggression. Now, here's our very own Jennifer Griffin with Senator Mike Rounds. Take a look.
I'd just like to get your reaction to what happened today in the Black Sea.
Pissed off.
You know, I can understand that emotions are running high on this. A U.S. military drone was shot down. But, Sean Hannity is going off the card on this one and agreeing with the Biden administration, who is trying to escalate this situation and drag the U.S. into war and put U.S. soldiers' boots on the ground. And quite frankly, this is not a place that the U.S. needs to be, wants to be, or should be. And patriots should be upset about this. Now, I'm a big fan of Sean Hannity, and quite frankly, he does an incredible job in most cases. It's just this time, well, he's missing the point, and he's missing what's going on. Now, if the drone flew with its transponders off, like the Russians are saying, they're saying they sent up jet fighters to investigate it. They could not get an answer from U.S. State Department about this or what was going on. This type of drone does carry weapons. Was it carrying weapons? No one will even answer this. Now, even if it wasn't, once an aircraft or even, let's say, a satellite is giving combat information over to the Ukrainians, it is involved in a conflict. Secondly, the Ukrainians are not above repainting equipment that they have. And do they have Raptors? We don't know this, do we? Putting U.S. colors back on them and then flying them over there, hoping they'll be safe because of that. They've done this with UN colors, putting them on fighter aircraft, namely helicopters, flying their troops around and using them in combat. They've done this with ambulances. They've done this with Red Cross vehicles. They've done this over and over again. So with the transponders off and there not being an answer, what else do you expect the Russians to do? Apparently, the way they took this down is what upsets the Biden administration the most. You see, they're saying that they took it down in a very environmentally unfriendly manner. The Russian jet went in front of the poor little drone and dumped fuel on it. The Russia peed on the U.S. drone, is what it amounts to. And is that the message? Now, apparently, the drone operator got a little excited, and according to the Russians, the drone veered off at too sharp an angle and lost control and crashed into the Black Sea. The American version is that the Russians came up behind it and attacked the propeller with their own jet plane. Now, this doesn't make a lot of sense. And, quite frankly, we need to be grown-ups about this. Would you risk your life plowing into a Raptor knowing that it might get sucked up into your own engines and cause you to crash or cause damage as it breaks up and damage your aircraft, forcing it to crash? No. Let's be grown-ups. So we can understand that that part didn't happen because there's too much risk involved. So we're talking about incompetent pilots? Well, I really don't think so. And that's not standing up for the Russians, by the way. That's standing up for common sense. We're supposed to be journalists. We're supposed to be critical thinkers out here. We're not supposed to take someone's word for it when they say it's raining outside. We're supposed to look out the fucking window and see for ourselves. Think for ourselves. Now, Russia absolutely has no interest escalating this to the point where the U.S. is directly involved. So that negates the point that they want to go toe-to-toe with the United States or with NATO. Even though NATO has weapons for literally a day, they've sent them all to Ukraine to be destroyed or captured by Russia. So, if the U.S. is flying war machines in an area that they've been told is being used for warfare, whose fault is it? Number one. Number two, with the transponder off, how could Russia successfully identify it? That's number two. Number three, Joe Biden should be ashamed of himself. He should be ashamed of himself as a U.S. president. Under his regime, one of the U.S. most technologically advanced weapons was essentially peed on by another airplane and taken down. This wouldn't have happened under Trump. I'm George Elias, and quite frankly, this might be funny if it wasn't so serious. Thank you.